What's up, everybody? We are here again. It's another SEMrush live webinar. It's the 29th of June. I don't know where this year is going. How are you all doing? Please jump in the comments just to let us know where you're commenting from around the globe. We've all come to the conclusion that England are playing in the Euros today. So hopefully we have some English audience. And if you're watching this afterwards, hopefully we did well. Who knows? But joining us today, we've got Dora from Parcel Lab. We've got Pablo from Unbounce. And you all know him, Fernando from SEMrush. Before I hand over to these guys, just to introduce them a little bit, we'll wait for everyone to start coming into the YouTube live for us today. So I'm just going to do a couple of icebreakers. I'm Tristan Jarman. I'm co-founder of Purple Smudge. I love my VW camper van, my French bulldog, and surfing. And if you've seen me before, you'd have heard me say that many, many times. Dora, up in the corner there, is an Icelandic Brit living in London, and she's been lucky enough to live in 4 continents. Wow. And moved away from California because she hated the weather. What are you doing in England? And just to introduce Pablo from Unbounce. Pablo is a Spanish man living in Vancouver, Canada. He moved there 5 years ago in search of adventures. I like your style, my friend. And you've just got a beautiful baby girl, Nora. So I guess that's a congratulations to you, sir. And Fernando, as I say, he's one of the main guys at SEMrush. But I want to hand it over to you guys so you can let everyone know why we're here today and a little bit more about yourself. So Fernando, should we start with you?
Sure, definitely. Well, a lot of interesting things have been happening during the last couple of years. Well, the last couple of years were really intense for the whole industry, especially for a specific the specific topic that we're going to be talking today, which is e-commerce, right? And how we can attract more traffic, how we can convert that traffic, and how we can retain and make those users who are coming around more happier, right? So for today, I will be presenting the first part, which is attracting, how to attract more traffic.
Awesome. And so should we throw it to you, Dora?
Sure. So I am the VP of Global Marketing and Growth at Parcel Lab. And what Parcel Lab does is that we are a leading operations experience management platform. Now, that's a mouthful. What that means is that effectively what we do is that we bring people and brands closer together by closing that experience gap that happens post-sales and beyond. So we transfer everything from all levels of operational complexity into beautiful customer journeys for brands like IKEA and Farfetch, Nespresso and Puma. And I'm going to talk a little bit today about kind of how to retain the customer with these beautiful experiences that we can develop.
Awesome. And finally, Pablo, over to you.
Right. I love Dora because I work in the customer marketing space. So I run marketing, like lifecycle marketing campaigns at Unbounce. So my team and I are in charge of all activation, engagement, retention, and resurrection campaigns. So it's very interesting having conversations through marketing with your customers, who are people that already know you. It's a very different approach to running marketing. And yeah, I am very excited to be here. I'm going to be speaking today about relevancy and how you can connect the pre-conversion experiences that you create with hyper-personalized, not personalized, but hyper-relevant experiences whenever your visitors land on the landing pages. I won't be speaking to many tactics. It's going to be more of a mindset. So yeah, stay tuned.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited. I've had the inside scoop, been able to look at all your presentations before. So I'm very excited to see it presented, and I'm sure the audience will be today. So just a little run through before we go live. We're going to have 3 presentations. Fernando's going to go first, then it's Dora, and then we'll be finishing off with Pablo, if I'm correct. If I've got that messed up, I'm sorry. So there's going to be 3 presentations. After each presentation, which will last roughly about 15 minutes. We'll have a quick Q&A for that presentation. So please use the comments box to put any questions you have in there, and I will get those to Fernando, Dora, and Pablo as quick as possible once they finish their section. And then we'll move on to the next one, and there'll be a Q&A. And if you're watching this going, well, that sounds like there's quite a lot going on, don't worry, because this is being recorded and you'll be able to watch it back at a later date. So sit back, relax, get yourself a cup of tea or something a little stronger, depending on what time of day it is where you are. And let's kick off with the fun. So Fernando, if you are happy, sir, I will hand over the reins to you and we will kick off with the first presentation.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Tristan. And let's start with the first part of this this webinar. Let's talk about how to drive more traffic to your website. And here we need to mention something that is really important, and is data. If you want to understand where are you right now in terms of traffic, in terms of your business goals, you need to have tons of data. And what better to have data from a trusted resource like SEMrush. We have more than 500 terabytes of raw data. We are basically all over the world with more than 190 regions and countries, and of course 200 million panelists to analyze that clickstream data that is offering the perfect view, clear analysis about what the users are doing, and of course all mix it up with market intelligence. So this is SEMrush trends data that I'm going to be sharing with you today. And to understand this a little bit better, what you should do with all this data that we are offering to you, that we are showing to you. So first thing is first, competitive analysis. What is that? So basically is to understand, as I mentioned before, where are you right now and where do you expect to be in the next month, in the next year, in the next 3 years. So allocating yourself in a time lapse to understand what is your positioning, what is your market share is really important. And for doing that, you need to run a competitive analysis campaign. Where you want to be, what is next for your company, and what is happening around you. That is why I was always amazed when I was asking questions about competitors with some users that they were telling me, oh no, we don't have any of those. We are the most unique product, we have the most unique service, but in 2 years or in 3 years, you may have 10 competitors, 100 competitors, 2,000 competitors. So this is something that will affect you at any time. So why you need to do competitive analysis? So basically, you need to find the sources of revenue of your competitors and the sources of success of your competitors. You also need to do competitive analysis to increase the ROI. So you have the plan, you have the strategy, and you can achieve the goal that you your business goals. So for securing the long-term business success of your company, you need to do this at the beginning, at the middle, or during the time that you are entering a new market. So it's useful at any time. That's why understanding competitive analysis is so important, and I wanted to start with that. And we can go straight with the 6 steps to drive more traffic to your website. I'm gonna go one by one. These are very powerful and easy tactics that you can use in your daily activity day. So let's go with the first one. Reveal traffic acquisition strategies. So this is the landscape of what is happening. I pick here a few companies, SaaS e-commerce companies, like for example, Asana, Trello, Rike. So these companies are competitors, right, in their own segment. And here we can see with the help of traffic analytics, what is working for them in terms of direct, referral, search, social, or paid traffic. You can see some are doing really well on direct, some are doing something exceptional on social. Paid is not for any of them, but they are doing something there. Of course, paid traffic means that you need to invest budget on ads, on promotion. That's why the number there is not that big in comparison with direct traffic, which is also very effective, right? So first step, analyze what is working for your competitors in any of those marketing channels. How many times they are working there, how many, what is the trend line, and of course, what is the source, the best source that works for your niche. In some industries, direct is not the first one, search is the first one, or in others, social is the only thing that they are doing, right? Second step, increase site visitors through direct traffic. Well, let's go channel by channel. When we're talking about direct traffic, we need to understand that when someone is typing the name of your domain in the search bar, well, actually in the browser part, or they're using a bookmark, that implies that they were referred by word of mouth. They heard somewhere about your domain, about your business name. Then maybe someone encouraged them to buy from you. So offline campaigns were active here, or they are returning from previous site visits or purchases. That means that they remember who you are, and that's brilliant. That's the most important strategy here. So the first tip, and the only one here, is invest in brand awareness. All those touches that your marketing campaigns are bringing to the user are the most effective ones. They're gonna be remember the name of your company, the name of your products, and that's something that you really want. So brand awareness is the most important and most effective way to attract traffic to attract visitors through direct traffic. Number three, you can bring visitors to your site through referral traffic. So this is also a really important source of traffic and really powerful one when we are doing the competitive analysis. Why is that? Because, for example, here in the list, you can see that Monday is the leading trail competitor, right? But if we see what is happening with the referral traffic of, in this case, Trello, you can see that Capterra is also sending users to Monday, right? To Trello. And in this case, it's not only Capterra. They are more than 252 other sources that are sending traffic visitors to Trello. So you can use all of those sources. So Capterra, there are a lot of review sites like Capterra out there. There are several forums. There are websites where you can comment about a company. You can create discussions, for example, and you can be there as well. So you just need to analyze what is the best referral traffic sources that are working for your competitors. You can have 200 more, 1,000 more, and work with that as well. So the main tips here, of course, get active on Capterra or other review sites. Those are working really great. Participate in forums or external conversations, group discussions. I really love our discussion group right now. Well, several of them on Discord. Discord is working really well for referral traffic. And of course, you can create unique content, and that's going to be attracting different sources to give you a link for that, a backlink. Step 4, optimize your site for higher search traffic. Well, that means that there is life beyond Google. Google is of course one of the most important, and in some countries is the main search engine. But if you analyze what other search engines are working for your competitors, you might see that, okay, we have Bing, we have also DuckDuckGo, we have Ecosia, and there are several of those out there in different countries, in different regions. So the main tip here, you should check additional traffic sources. There is life beyond Google. And your best strategy here is to work also on those search engines. Basically, everything that you are doing to optimize your website should work on those search engines as well. But some of them, they have their own rules, so you just need to take a look on what is working there. Step number 5, you should drive traffic to your website from social media. So we came from direct traffic, referral traffic, from other search engines. We can use also social media. So we can go and analyze where are those sources, those social media platforms that are attracting the most of the traffic for your competitors. In this case, for Trello, it's basically YouTube. YouTube is bringing thousands of people, of users to Trello, then Reddit, GitHub, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we have Twitter as well there. So as you see, there are a lot of different social media platforms that are working really well for traffic acquisition. In this case, the main tips here: announce special brand contest on social media, have some activities there, create teasers for your best content, so promotion and making people feel that expectation of the next big thing that you're going to be doing. It's really useful. And of course, CTAs, call to actions that drive users to do something, to click on any social media link or promotional material or content that you have there. That also works really great. And of course, you can get a little bit smarter about paid traffic. How you can do that? So you can visit or analyze your competitor's domain and go to this tool that is measuring, actually is analyzing the audience overlap. So different competitors, let's say Monday and Slack, right? They're not competing to each other. They're complementing each other. Users that are maybe using Monday and Slack, they should have the one to create an integration to receive some notifications from Monday to Slack. And you see that there are users who are using both platforms. And from there, you can see, okay, maybe there are other overlapping competitors that are direct competitors that can give me more traffic. And you just need to check what is happening with their paid campaigns, with their paid strategies. You can also use data from SEMrush to go there. So understanding the audience needs, in this case, you can see the display campaigns that are doing the display network, the targeting, the specifics of the user persona, the buyer persona, to go there and to create those remarketing campaigns and get their attention, cap their attention from there. And of course, some additional tips on how to bring more traffic to your website. If you want to do something more, you can check if your competitors are stealing your traffic. Just see the keywords that they are bidding on Google Ads. Just take a look of the keywords that are also optimizing for better position in the ranks. Audit the existing content to see if it has traffic boosting potential, if you can push that evergreen content to do more, to bring more traffic to your website. And of course, think about the core site vitals. Fix any core site issues. Everything that is related to the core vitals right now is so important. So the fastest is the first one, not the biggest one. So the last tip here to drive more traffic is just do it. Any activity, any marketing campaign that you are aiming, they can help you a lot, but you just need to go there and try one of them. Just do it. And that's basically all the tips, all the steps for attracting more traffic to your website that I wanted to show you today. And I'm right on time on my 15 minutes. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fernando. If you can stop sharing your screen, that'd be awesome. I've got a couple of questions I'm just going to throw at you. Have you got something that's worked exceptionally well at SEMrush that, you know, what other tactics could you tell us about that we could get more traffic that have worked well at SEMrush?
Oh, yes, definitely. Something that is working really well in terms of traffic acquisition is to work with influencers, do influencer marketing, make other people talk about your brand. That's something that is really important, because that is combining two important factors: trust and education. If the users of the fans of an influencer, they trust them, they're gonna be really open to any type of education. And if that education is related to your service or product, that's an awesome combination.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I could go off on influencer marketing for ages, but I think it's been a big thing. It's going to become more and more of a big thing. And I think sort of, Pablo, you touched slightly upon some of this in your presentation, but I think it's really interesting about working with this tactic and working closer with your influencers, identifying them, you know, and hopefully you'll have some sort of like lifetime legacy influencers who love and champion your brand. And they're the ones that, you know, not only can shout about how great you are, but they can, you know, come in and help you improve your product or service or whatever it is. So yeah, I really love that. And just to chime in as well, I do love the SEMrush competitor analysis tool. It depending on where you are in your journey, it really can help you boost. Either you're starting to launch your website and you want to see what is going on out in the market space, or you're looking to take the next step, improve upon, you know, you've started some SEO, PPC, etc., but you really want to start to see what are your competitors doing, and that whole tool is really fantastic. If I have time, I think there is actually another SEMrush webinar I was hosted, and we actually talk about the competitor analysis tool in great depth. So I might just put that up in the comments for everyone to have a look at. And so as time is rapidly moving on, it's just watching it go down. Dora, should we hand over to you?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Fernando. So let me share my screen, and now I'm going to mess this up.
We just need some like sort of music to interlude in between.
Exactly.
Some lift music, or me just jabbering.
You can see it, right?
No, we can't, I'm afraid. Oh, I think I've just been notified that Pablo may be going second, so I do apologise. That's my fault. I hold my hands up there. Well, Pablo.
Thanks. No problem.
Shall we hand it to you then, sir?
Right on. Now stop. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you?
Not yet, no.
Not yet?
It's loading. No? We can see it now. Perfect.
Beautiful. Right on, folks. Bear with me. I have over 60 slides, which is 61 slides. I'm going to go pretty fast. It's going to be a very dynamic presentation. Don't blame. I have lots to say, even though it's quite simple. Besides the length of the presentation, I'm going to be speaking about relevancy and how you can leverage on it, and how you can leverage on machines. This is a topic that is already there, and it seems like we've forgotten about it, but it's how it's being more used nowadays without even noticing. I have already introduced myself earlier, and I don't think I've introduced Unbounce. Unbounce is a conversion and landing page platform chosen by over 15,000 brands and small and medium businesses like you all. So if you don't want to stay and you want to switch off, this is my 3 key takeaways. E-commerces, SMBs are at a disadvantage. More brands have been moving online, especially recently, making the internet even more crowded and more distracting. We are spending even more money in marketing, and big brands are taking advantage of it. They have endless budgets, and they have better access to technology, better access to data. So SMBs are a disadvantage. Relevancy. as a cornerstone for e-commerce growth. Being relevant is providing a sense of belonging for each unique visitors. That accelerates the aha moment. When they land on your pages, on your shop pages, they always ask, is this right for me? Is this the right product it needs? So building relevance is building that experience that feels super tailored to each individual. And then what is conversion intelligence? This conversion intelligence is the fastest way to build that relevancy that you need and increase your chance of conversion for each and every visitor. And it truly is each and every visitor. CA is pairing your marketing IQ, what you already know, your biases, your experiences, with machine learning to identify conversion patterns and opportunities that you wouldn't be able to see on your own. Like simply put, is you and your marketing know-how augmented by machines. Again, we have already talked about it. There was a bit of a trend years ago, but now it's here to stay, and we can see tons of applications about this. So I am gonna also mention that don't expect any specific tactics, don't expect any best practices, and none of landing page optimization advice. If you think that the green, I'm going to be speaking about green button converts better than the red button, or the 2-form is better than this 5-form, just run, take the money and run. Don't stay with me. Just kidding. Okay, so we have seen tons of charts like this one. Positive growth year over year means more buyers, right? There's more money being spent in e-commerce year over year. The projections are impressive, but what does it mean? This also means more sellers, which means more competition, right? Especially now with COVID, right? It has accelerated a lot how businesses have gone online. So you can see on the graphs how US e-commerce penetration grew at an approximate rate equivalent to 10 years within the first 3 months of the pandemic. And this is just one fact. Internet is being crowded. It's more crowded than ever. Cost per acquisition, cost per click, cost per purchase is more expensive than ever. So that is putting SMBs at a great disadvantage because we cannot compete against the big brands, the big guys. What's the impact on e-commerce SMBs? Right, let's put an example. Let's talk about Lindsay. Lindsay, she is a trailblazer. She's like a one-person army marketing team working for a trendy e-com company that sells products for pet groomers. It's called Respect. Super fun to work. They have a lot of fun things on the Instagram account, pet pictures that are that cute. And yeah, at the beginning, they didn't have any trouble getting pet groomers to click on the ads and making some purchases, right? But things have changed over the past years. Now that they have tons of competition, the ads are not even showing up. When they are showing up, they are in the 4th, 5th position. And on the right column, they have the big guys also playing there, Walmart, Amazon, Wayfair, lots of them that you already know, right? Which means that they are spending more money. They were starting at $3 per click, as an example, and now they are at 16, right? Which means that it's getting harder to convert those clicks into buyers. So much that 68% of marketers say that paid advertising is very important or extremely important to their overall marketing strategy. And 78% of the small business marketers plan to increase their digital marketing spend this year. Increase their spend, which means that if you're increasing your spend, your ROI could be lower, right? Because you are spending more money, more budget, and at the end, you're profiting less, right? Because the competition, as we said, is getting harder. So how should e-commerce SMBs adapt, right? The problem that we all face is that when your visitors land on your website, land on your shop pages, on your product pages, land anywhere on your assets, they only have between 3 to 5 seconds to create a first good impression. So if you are not instantly relevant, people will skip. People will go somewhere else because you are not that important to them. They will wonder, is it the right site for me? Is it the right product for me? So here's where relevance comes into play. In that intersection between what you want to say and what your customers are interested in. So buyers are overwhelmed by choice. They're looking for any clue that your business is right for them. And if they don't feel that instant connection with your brands, they'll just move into the next brand, or they will be targeted by one of the big guys' advertisements, right? So relevance is providing sense of belonging. Like this is for me, right? For each unique visitor that accelerates that aha moment that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the presentation. So that means that there isn't just one relevant message that will work for everyone. We need multiple variations to be as relevant as possible for each visitors. Because again, we don't have endless budgets to bring thousands of visitors to increase our purchases, right? So we've already, when we think about relevance, we can avoid thinking about personalization, but it's a big difference, right? It's not. It's important to know that relevance is different from the traditional way we think about personalization. Relevance is more than changing out a single word in the headline or adding first name on your emails. You build relevance by serving visitors unique marketing experiences that match their needs, preference, and expectations. It's not just based on what they are searching for or what they've already told you, but also in behavioral and predictive data. As Fernando put it earlier, data is key, but we're going to see how many problems they come with data, because the data, by the sake of having the data, is not useful. You need insights, you need information, and you need actionable information from that data to be able to do something. Otherwise, like it's useless, and as we will see. So what will happen if we build that relevancy? It would be easier to stand out from the competition, and therefore we would spend less money on online advertising. Therefore, we would get more profits out of our business, right? And get the most of each dollar. If we could also create the most relevant experiences, we would convert more clicks into customers. So for example, grooming companies would react better to our Facebook advertising, Facebook campaigns, maybe through mobile phone. And we would create a specific landing page, a specific shoppable landing page that would be more relevant for them, and therefore increase the conversion rates. But the new game is hard, right? Creating relevancy, it feels nearly impossible, right? You can build relevance, as we said, using personalization tools like swapping out keywords, creating tons of ad groups, growing super granular on your segments, on your email lists, creating multiple variants of your landing pages. But that process is very slow and very manual. And most SMBs don't have the time or the resources to put towards making every marketing experience unique to each visitor. And even if they know this is something they should be doing, it sounds super complicated and super expensive. So some of these tactics that we've seen, right, like pre-purchase strategies, we see dynamic keyword insertion, creating very different ad groups, hyper segmenting our email lists, retargeting, multi-channel, on-site strategies, as we all know, like multiple variants, A/B testing. We have things like dynamic text replacement, etc., etc. And as we just said, it's too much time. It's too time consuming. Therefore, it means it's more expensive for us to spending time on this. We can really perceive the value of it, right? Even though we know that we should be doing it. And not just with that, again, SMBs are a competitive disadvantage when we have the big guys using the most powerful technologies. Could landing pages be the answer? And this is where we started from, like about 10 years ago, right? Let's create a landing page builder where people can create one landing page per each marketing campaign, one landing page for each marketing campaign. But over time, we've come to realize that it doesn't make sense just having one landing page. You need tons of landing pages. You need tons of shoppable landing pages for your product. But how come you as an SMB can create so many of those, right? Oli Garner 8 years ago put it, Oli Garner is one of the Alman's co-founders. and some quite a lot of principle, which is never start a marketing campaign without a dedicated landing page. But plot twist, landing pages alone are not the answer. For many SMBs, landing pages have not been getting them enough results. They haven't been working as well as they have in the past, as we said, right? To get them these conversions that they needed at a stand out of online. Why? What happened, right? As I said, 10 years ago, landing pages were enough to set you apart from the competition. If you were the only brand running landing pages in your space, and everyone was sending traffic to the website, it would give you an immediate leg up, right? But now with advancing technologies and the popularity of tools like Unbounce and many others, this is table stakes, right? Unless you have time, expertise, or superpowers to predict what will convert ahead of time, which is nearly impossible, as we said. So what are the three things that make landing pages not really working? Building landing pages, optimize landing pages, are learning from those landing pages. Let's start with building those landing pages. Let's go back with Lindsay's example. When I build a landing page, a shoppable landing page, I rely on something called marketing intelligence. As I said earlier, what is marketing intelligence? That marketing intelligence is your know-how, is all the knowledge, skill, and raw creativity that we as human beings have, right? And gives us the skills to create and make those day-to-day decisions. But why marketing intelligence alone is not enough? Because at the end, whenever you build a new landing page, you wonder, right? How do I build campaigns for a target audience? Where should I focus my efforts first? What do I need or I don't need on a landing page? And why certain campaigns or variants are converting more than others? So this brings us to the next stage, optimizing our assets. We all aspire to optimization, but it actually doesn't work for many of us. And there's typically 4 reasons. Marketers don't have the time because they have million and other things on the plate. 2, even if they have the time, a lot of SMBs don't have enough traffic to optimize. And these 2 things are related, right? Because if you don't have enough traffic, it takes longer to run an A/B test. And also, they don't have the expertise to know how to run a proper A/B test. They don't fully understand what statistical significance is. They see one variant that's getting high conversion rate after 50 visits, and then turn it off the other one. So very few marketers really know how to optimize and take A/B testing properly, which this leads us to a lack of ROI. And why prioritize optimization if I'm seeing only 1% on the conversion rate increase, right? So that's true that for some customers, from some unbouncers and marketers out there, optimization works, but it's not the best thing. So that's why also the one-size-fits-all landing page is not enough, because your visitors, they all have different needs and preferences. So if you put all your eggs on one basket, 35% of your visitors don't like that basket, you can see the problem. They won't convert. So again, data, learning, what happens? We have tons of data, but where are the actionable insights, right? Marketers are overloaded with data, from page views to bounce rates. What does all those numbers mean, right? Maybe the insight, that golden nugget, is found on the 7th tab on a big spreadsheet that we created, right? What do we do with that? It's very complicated. But the answer to all of these problems that I have been talking about is not any product. It's not any product. There's no such a thing as a broken product. It's the process. And the process is what I wanted to point out in this next 2 minutes that we have today. It's conversion intelligence. It's pairing your marketing intelligence with artificial intelligence. Conversion intelligence isn't a single new product that we are offering. Unbounce isn't offering this. It's a new process that is made possible with certain tools, which combine your marketing intelligence, as I said, with with artificial intelligence to get you more conversions. It's not a new way. It's not just a new way for marketers to build, optimize, and learn. It's a new process to build, optimize and learn from any piece of marketing. So as I mentioned at the beginning, is commercial intelligence is your marketing IQ powered by machines. And it is a trend. We are seeing it in other tools, other platforms like Facebook, like SEMrush, like Google Ads. We are seeing it across the tech industry. It's not just specific for landing page. So how you can identify those conversion intelligence tools? There's two criteria. One, they enable you as a marketer and a machine to work together. It is not just a machine automating. It's not automation. It's a machine helping you to do your work, and you helping a machine to do the work, with the end result of getting you more conversions. Let's look at, for example, Facebook ads. Platforms like Facebook ads let you use machine learning to evaluate ad quality and get insights about which users within your chosen audience are most likely to perform your desired action. So in this case, the marketer selects several images and writes different copy variations. The Facebook algorithm then assembles the ads dynamically and then automatically adjusts the ad spend to the highest converting variant. This is a great example of conversion intelligence tool. One thing that is not quite right, those tools that you put your website URL, you type some keywords, and they give you some copy. This is definitely machine learning. This creating text for you, but these type of tools are not conversion intelligence. Because what do you do with those texts? How do you know that those texts are high in converting? You combine snazzy tools like Snazzy AI with Amazon's data, and you get insight. So it's that piece of copy that a machine has written for you. In the case of Amazon, we have conversions and conversions data for millions of landing pages and billions of conversions. What do? We know what's converting with historical data. So we're using tools like Snazzy AI or many other tools like Copy AI and things like that. Then you can know, okay, is this text gonna convert more? Yes, no. Also, Active Campaign with predictive content, it's doing it. Unbounce with the smart traffic. You create one page with dozens of variants, and Unbounce will route the traffic to the pages that your visitors are more likely to convert. So how to apply it? Super easy. I mean, it's not easy. It's a process, and you need to get used to it. Conversion intelligence is a process that you can apply to any marketing campaign, and you need the right tools that can pair with your marketing IQ to get the most of it. You need to find what works in your process. As the tools I mentioned earlier, Unbounce, we are working in this space now, and we are creating tools to help SMBs to compete against the more crowded competition market that we are now. And we are, and this framework is here to stay, right? We are seeing how AI is now helping everyone in many other fields do our work better. And I think I'm just gonna skip these final slides. I just wanna thank you everyone for listening to me today. If anyone has any question, please pop in the chat, and I'm more than happy to jump into a call or an email thread with anyone to talk more about this process, this framework of conversion intelligence and how it's changing the world for SMBs.
Awesome. Cheers, Pablo. Thank you very much. If you could stop sharing your screen, that was fascinating. I'm fascinated by AI and the future of it with marketing. I sort of kind of have a loaded question, really, to all of you, really. Do you feel AI will continue to flip marketing on its head moving forward? And I've kind of got a bit extra with that. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I mean, as I pointed out, it's here to stay. We talked a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago, even, about how AI was coming. It was gonna replace us as marketers, but it is not true. We need to leverage on machines, but we all have a role to play. We need to make decisions, but also machines can make decisions. It's like, what are the right tools that fit our business model? I am an e-commerce. What type of conversion intelligence tools are a good fit for me? And then how do I get the most of them, and I optimize and get used to that process of, one, trusting those tools, because you need to feel comfortable, right? And the beauty of AI and machine learning is when you don't feel it. It doesn't feel like weird. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. It's just second nature. So we are there, right? There's still some friction. Now there's a lot of early adopters of these technologies, but I bet that in 5 years from now, maybe 10, I would say 5, it's going to be table stakes. Everyone will use it. And so Ole Pablo will be here talking about what's next and how we are leveraging new tools, because it's human nature, right? It's just progress. Yeah. We just develop. But what we know is PPC is more expensive than ever, and SMBs are at disadvantage there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that. And as I say, the sands of time are just pouring away from us. Dora, I will hand over the reins to you now.
Thank you. A very random fun fact about AI. I was a part of the team that launched the first artificial ankle in the world.
Very cool.
10 years ago. So the first AI ankle to help amputees.
That is very cool. I love that.
Very different. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about retention. So kind of what we refer to as one of the truly untapped marketing channels. So what do we mean by this thing? Like, what is it that the customer wants? What are they looking for? And how do you make sure that you're catering to their different needs? So this is a staggering fact that it can cost up to 25 times more to retain, to gain a new customer than to retain an existing one. 20 times, 25 times. Like, let's all let that sink in for a bit. But then when you think about it, I would have a kind of a question for all of you to really think about is, when does the customer journey actually end? Is it when I've completed my purchase? Is it when the product arrives to me? Is it the first time I use the product or the last time I use the product? Is it if I have to send it back for a repair? When has the customer journey ended? We believe that it hasn't. We believe that it should never. You don't want to lose that connection with your customer. You have that person. They know your brand. They have bought from you. They have trusted you enough to invest in your product or your services. Now leverage that further. So our research shows that brands effectively ignore their customers post-sale and rely on carriers or any other type of communication to provide the much needed updates that customers want. And this is staggering, considering 64% of customers say that transactional emails are the most important emails they receive. And these emails receive 1,682% more engagement than any marketing email. This truly is that untapped marketing channel. And it's a channel for brands to discover and harness more. So again, I would say, when does the customer journey actually end? Currently, and most commonly, the customer journey tends to end when I press pay. So, and the buying journey in e-commerce doesn't give you that instant gratification. You need to wait and wait. It doesn't look like this. It isn't that pleasure that you want. But just make sure it doesn't look like this. You know, make sure that it's consistent, that you're not giving people a chance to challenge or question if they've done the right thing by buying from you. That period that's between a customer placing an order and receiving their order is ripe with potential for improved customer experiences, along with upsells and options to outperform and convert that customer into a brand advocate. What customers effectively want is to be informed. Don't give me a reason to have buyer's regret, like I said before. Continue to assure me that I've made the right choice, and do so by effectively communicating with me. All the marketers in the room should think about this. Transactional emails can drive more than 4 times the revenue of bulk mailing. Now think about how much of our budget we invest in bulk mailing and what we could be doing with it. No, transactional emails open rates have up to 10% higher than bulk and promotional emails. It's common to see open rates for these messages at above 100%. Now that you have someone's 100% attention, how are you going to utilize it? How will you harness this and convert them into a loyal advocate? How will you retain them? Let's compare the average marketing promotional email to these type of emails. So on average, most transactional emails have an 85% open rate, roughly 80 to 85, whereas marketing emails have 20 to 25% open rate. Now that's a 50% higher rate. Transactional emails have a 9.2% click-through rate versus non-transactional emails, which have a 3.2% click-through rate. So think of the potential traffic you can get back to your site 6% more than from your current email activity, at least. Think about the potential and how to untap this channel and build loyalty to encourage that retention of your customer. So I'm going to refer back to the number that I talked about, the 25 times more costlier number. That's what it can cost. If you need to find a new customer each and every time, instead of building better and stronger relationships with your current customers, how do you do that? By keeping them happy, informed, and engaged. Sounds really easy, right? But you have their attention. So how do you leverage it better? Aim to build that brand loyalty. But is it really brand loyalty or is it experience loyalty? Brand loyalty was really important for customers. It was all about that trust, the meaning that it had to buy from certain brands. And granted, that is still all there. I'm not saying it isn't. But we're living in an information age. Consumers today have more information at their fingertips than ever before. And the trust gap between the big brands and the much smaller challengers is hugely diminishing. Consumers simply aren't afraid to look for alternatives. And equally, they aren't afraid to challenge and make sure that where and what they buy suits their lifestyle and their needs. So I would challenge that brand loyalty has changed into experience loyalty. Consumers aren't prioritizing the brand reputation so much as the availability of things like free returns, easy payment options, next day shipping, and communications throughout. Sustainability options. I still might be loyal to the brand, but I will source where I get it through the best experience. Granted, it's often Amazon, but that's something that needs to change equally. We all like Amazon, but I want to make sure that we have all the other bricks and mortars still there. Brand loyalty has evolved into experience loyalty. So how do you maximize the customer experience and engagement? How do you remain competitive in an experience-first landscape? So when you manage expectations, you breed trust and loyalty. The experience needs to be personal for your customers and always let them feel that you've taken care of them. So here are some tips from us on how to do that. Guide your customer through the delivery process. Always leave them thinking, I was told what to expect and you delivered on that promise. Don't just let them know when things are going well. Let them know about the bumps in the road. Give them proactive communication, delayed messages or failed delivery attempts. Make sure you're showing them that you respect and you value their attention. When things change, you told me and you confirmed every step along the way. Ensure that you're becoming consistent in your messaging and that the customer knows it's all coming from you, that you've thought of this clearly for them. As I experience you in every channel, it feels like a consistent relationship. They need to feel and trust that they're in a relationship with your brand. And when their parcel or order finally arrives, engage with them, push them to the social channels or tell them how to best to enjoy the product, video examples, anything that you frequently make. You've added value for me rather than asking more of me. So this is for us kind of 4 core tips for everyone to think about. And then equally, we have some great examples of next level value adds. So thanks for your order. Here are some positive reviews about the things that you just bought to further build that assurance. Thanks for your order. Here's a video tutorial on how to assemble your cool new bicycle you just bought. Don't worry, it's super easy. Sorry, we're running late. Here's a voucher for next time. And equally, here's some stuff that you could buy or spend your voucher on. Fulfilling on the brand's promise is the most important part of the customer journey. People will turn into brand advocates only if they experience great experiences from you and they believe and deserve in them before and after they press buy. And that's it for me today.
Thank you very much. I love that presentation. There's so much in there that I feel so many companies still aren't doing. Like your email examples, in particular at the end, you know, about the, hey, your order's on the way, bike's coming, have a look at some more content, keep them in the loop, keep them sort of consuming your brand, really. Yeah, I find, it fascinating what you presented, and it's sort of frustrating that I still see so many, just with some of the sort of, I guess, a more simpler tasks of, you signed up for an email or you receive an initial email, what other pushes, hey, here's our social media channels, which you may not have known about, or here you can click them, just simple things like that. Yeah, absolutely brilliant that. We do have, well, we've still got a little bit of time, fantastically. We've got a question from the audience from Mendo Digital, and they're asking, obviously, Pablo, you covered a couple of your tools that you were talking about, but what software tools are the presenters using, especially for conversion optimization? So I don't know if you could just throw one tool to Mendo Digital just to help them out.
Sure, I'll go first. We're trialing something new for our conversion optimization. Well, it's debatable how you would classify the platform, but we're playing with Influ 2, which really helps with conversions. It's really targeted, an interesting tool. We're getting learnings from it, I would say. I think we'll learn how to become more effective with it, but I would recommend you checking it out.
Awesome. Pablo, what would your top tool be, as you presented a few?
I presented a few, but one of the tools that we are using a lot, and it's an in-house tool, is Unbound Smart Traffic. Unbound Smart Traffic is a feature that allows you to create, instead of an A/B test, you create one test, then you end up with a winner variant. You can create all variants that you want. The URL is the same. You have one URL, and then you have 5, 10, 15, 50 different variants. You can make all the changes that you want, and Unbound learns from the traffic that you're receiving, from what's converting, and what attributes those visitors had that make them convert. So it will route future traffic on the variants that they are more likely to convert. Our marketing team uses them in every single landing page we use on PPC for lead generation. And the results are honestly impressive. We are seeing, to be honest, a 30% increase. 30% increase. It's insane. At the end, it's using machines to do your work. Like I couldn't be downloading all those CSV, looking at all the conversions, what's converting, what's not, why, pivot tables, massive Excel sheets. Just no, the machine's just doing it, and all variants are winners for different visitors.
Awesome. And lastly, Fernando, what top tip or tool would you suggest to the audience?
Well, definitely, we are with the winners in terms of conversion, and that's Unbound, of course. If you are using Unbound, you cannot lose in any case. And with all the improvements, with all the technology that they are running, that they are testing, is fantastic, the result. So Unbound is the leader, so you should go with them.
Fantastic. Just another question for you, Dora. We've got, I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, Belanja Medic. What CRM does Dora use?
We use HubSpot. HubSpot.
There we go. Fantastic. And as we are nicely rounding up to the hour mark, is there any sort of one top tip that you'd like to leave the audience as we go round the table, the screen? And then also, if you'd like to drop your social media handles, how people can find you as well. So one top tip, and how can people find you for further consumption of information, and maybe to drop you a couple of questions. Dora, we'll start with you. I should have some process.
Sure. Oh, a top tip. Well, for me, it would be try and unharness your, your marketing channel that I've just talked about. Do really think about what you're sharing with your customers, and don't constantly try and gain new ones. Focus on the ones you have and how you can build those relationships and get more out of them. And my social media, do you want me to pop them into the chat?
No, if you just say them out loud, I'll pop them into the chat.
Okay, so you can find me on LinkedIn under Dora Birna. Yeah, that's probably the best one for me.
Fantastic. And do you mind if I drop your email address in as well?
Absolutely. Dora at Parcel App.
There we go. I'll just pop those in the chat for everyone. And round to you, Pablo.
Right on. So my best advice would be, don't be afraid and trust new technologies nowadays. The level of sophistication and the level of trustworthiness is getting better. And they're going to help a lot of us to do better our work, and especially in the marketing space. That's where we are all working at. So yeah, trust the machines. Do your due diligence, but trust them, because it's the only way we're going to be able to do better our jobs now and in the next future. Those are the handles. You can find me in LinkedIn, Pablo Penades, and also in Twitter and Instagram. And the handles that Tristan is leaving there.
Just adding all the links now. I feel like your quote there, trust the machines, that's going to be something that could come back to haunt us in a Terminator sort of Skynet type way. But no, I do agree with you. We should trust the machines. There's so much that they can take on and do. And your little example a few minutes ago, we were just discussing where that sort of sounds like half, if not an entire role for someone to go through all that data, look at, consume. And if you're reasonably smart as a marketer, you can get a machine to do a lot of this work, and then you have more time to look at other avenues. Fantastic. Fernando, finally with you, sir.
Yes, definitely. Well, trust the machine sounds very scary, but useful. It's true. And I would like to give you my my top tip here. Which is dividing the time that you have. Time is the most expensive thing that we have, so we need to invest the time with this proportionally. 20% of the time go for analysis, market research, market analysis, competitive analysis, and 80% of your time for planning, for activities, the strategies, following all the activities that you can achieve while you have all the data in your hands. So 20% analysis, 80% action.
Fantastic. And we are just over the mark, but that's bang on. I just want to say thank you to each of you for presenting today. I found it fascinating. I'm sure the audience have. Audience, if you are watching this live or pre-recorded, please smash that like button and share this with someone that might find this useful. We'll be back soon for another episode. There's a great webinar tomorrow or the 1st, but check out the SEMrush webinars page. There's a link building webinar coming up, which is going to be super awesome. But for now, I just bid you a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now.
Bye, everyone.